Hello and welcome all. I first just want to start by saying I'm sorry about my voice. I only have about half a voice right now, so I just want to apologize in advance for that. But my name is Jamie Adjavet, and I'm very excited to introduce to you all my favorite personality thing. So there have been plenty of topics and concepts that I've either learned about or read about that I really enjoyed and that really caught my attention. Although Dr. B mentioned choosing a topic that has most captured my imagination, and with that, I would definitely have to say that B.F. Skinner's reinforcement theory, developed from his theory of operant conditioning, would definitely have to be my favorite. I will get to why I consider this theory my favorite shortly. First, I would like to dive a little bit deeper into B.F. Skinner's life, what caused Skinner's interesting theory to come about. B.F. Skinner was born on March 20th, 1904, in Susquehanna, Pennsylvania. He was the oldest of two sons, but his brother tragically passed away at the age of 16. Despite his brother's death, Skinner described his childhood as warm and stable. He enjoyed doing things like building and inventing. He was brought up by a strict family who instilled hard work and proper behaviors into him at a very young age. Skinner went on to major in English at Hamilton College in New York, with intentions of becoming a novelist. Skinner would later consider this part of his life the dark year. Skinner decided to enter Harvard in 1928 to study psychology, where he earned his PhD in only 3 years. After receiving his PhD, Skinner decided to stay at Harvard for 5 more years thanks to a fellowship, where he continued his research on operant behavior and operant conditioning. So what is operant conditioning? Operant conditioning is a method of learning that occurs through rewards and punishments for behavior. Rewards are given when a desired behavior is performed, and punishments are given when the desired behaviors are not performed. Skinner says that behavior can be formed by its consequences. So how does Skinner go about doing this? He uses positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement is when a reward is given to the subject when they perform a desired action, so the subject then associates the action with the reward and will perform the action more often. So some examples are this of receiving appreciation, praise, getting a good grade, getting a promotion, a trophy, and money. Those are all given with the intent of you continuing doing something well that you have done. So most operant conditioning involves positive reinforcement rather than negative reinforcement and punishments. Skinner said that punishment was ineffective in changing behaviors from undesirable to desirable or from abnormal to normal. So positive reinforcement is much more effective. So Skinner's experiment. Skinner studied a rat in an operant conditioning chamber that would later be called the Skinner box. And Skinner would demonstrate how positive reinforcement works by placing a single rat that was hungry in a glass box that contained a lever on one side. And when that lever was hit, it would release a food pellet into the box. As the rat is just a curious animal, it will explore the box for a little bit. It might go to the opposite corner, sniff around a little bit, but eventually the rat will hit the lever, maybe on purpose, maybe on accident. And when he does that first time, a food pellet will drop out. Skinner recorded that once that first food pellet dropped into the rat's box, the rat continuously hit the lever, just getting more and more food, and doing little else but just pulling the lever and eating food. So Skinner was criticized a lot, and people definitely questioned whether or not humans and rats are really similar, as Skinner was saying. But I think that although Skinner's colleagues might have disagreed with him, there's examples in everyday life all over the place uh, that that prove that operant conditioning works just as well in humans. I know as a child, whether it just be only $5 or $10, my dad would always give me money if I got straight A's, and he definitely conditioned me to get good grades. When you go to a doctor's office or a barber shop, they want to condition kids to not be afraid to get a haircut or go get a shot by putting out things like candy. Um, so I think B.F. Skinner's findings are not only very interesting but also pretty accurate. Now, B.F. Skinner experimented with rats, pigeons, and he was very fascinated by animals and animal behavior. Um, it was said that after he seen a flock of performing pigeons at a county fair, B.F. Skinner decided to train pigeons how to play ping pong and how to guide a missile to its target. Um, that is absolutely absurd to me, and that is honestly the reason why B.F. Skinner's reinforcement theory is my favorite, and specifically what you can condition animals to do. It is absolutely my favorite thing in the world to do when I go home and visit my family, to teach my pets or condition them, I should say, to do a bunch of crazy things. And I have 3 dogs at my house and I have 1 cat, so it's a zoo, as you can imagine. But once I heard B.F. Skinner could condition a pigeon to play ping pong, I got to thinking, what could I train my pets to do? And I've had a lot of fun with it. My cat specifically, we've trained him or conditioned him to open the doors and do all kinds of crazy stuff, put on clothes, and after first hearing about B.F. Skinner's work and specifically with animals, I kind of ran with that and just try to see, how far can I take this? So I've been having fun with that, and that's definitely the reason why this is one of my favorite personality things. So B.F. Skinner's work lives on. B.F. Skinner's work has had wide practical applications for changing human behavior, and his behavior modification techniques are widely used in schools, businesses, hospitals, and correctional institutes. Techniques such as behavior therapy derived from Skinner's research is still practiced in clinical settings today to treat a variety of disorders. B.F. Skinner, has had a very big impact on psychology, and I think he is a very interesting man. Thank you guys for listening, and that's all I got for you. Take it easy. Have a good one.